in the beginning I said that the roof is really just a placeholder. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to make the roof my tiling, my roof tiles. I'm going to go to Edit, I'm going to say Duplicate, I'm going to call this Roof Tiles, and I'm going to change the thickness to 50. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to select it and just move it up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to quickly draw a detail line there to there, and I'm going to offset that by 38 because that's the distance that my battens are going to be. I need to extend that over just like that. So I'm going to change the line weight so I can actually see it. I'm going to select my roof. I'm going to move it down to there. So now, if I dimension my roof, it should be 38. There should be a 38 gap between my roof tiles and my truss. There we go. If you remember previously, I said that you can actually move that down. So we're going to go and say move it down by -50. A little bit more. Select it again and say -65. Okay. And let's select that, and let's just say we horizontally -25, 30. Okay, looking at that again, maybe just move that up to -55. And there we have that detail sorted. So that's just quickly adjusting our roof. Excuse me, that's just quickly adjust. So that's just quickly adjusting our roof tile and branding. So that's just quickly adjusting our roof size to turn it into tiles and adding detail. Make a duplicate of this section. The reason I want to do that is I want to do a more detailed 1 in 50 section of the same section. But let's call that, let's just rename it. AA 1 in 50. I can't use that. Section AA 50. And we call this section AA 100. To finish off this section, we're going to use the same method that you would use if you're doing it in AutoCAD. We're going to use hatch and we're going to use lines. Now in Revit, hatching is called region. You go to annotate, region, and then I've set up a couple of regions for you. If you drop down, then you can find brickwork, concrete. There's a couple of other ones. The ones we use the most, there's wood, waterproofing. So let's go with brickwork and just lines, and let's use a 4 pen 4. So for this 1 in 100, excuse me, it's just draw in the brickwork. There we go. That's the one side. Seems that I've missed a footing on that side when we modeled. I'm not too stressed about that for now. Let's just quickly do this side. Going to extend this into the ceiling space. Actually, just going to select that, copy that over, say finish, and there we go. Now, unfortunately, well, it's not really unfortunate, it's just the way that Revit draws section lines. When you cut a section, Revit will make the outer ends thicker lines. Now, when architects do it, or when we do it in practice, we normally will thicken up concrete, and then obviously the backfill and the sand below it will be thinner lines. When Revit does it, it actually does the top and the bottom, which is the bottom of the backfill, thick, and everything in between thin. The best way to remedy this is to use I call it a Jippo tool. And that tool is line work, or LW. Line work allows you to select a 3D line, or 3D cut line in this case, and change it. So it only does it in the view that you're busy, so it's not going to do it in all the sections. You've got to do that each time. But I'm going to select pen 1, and I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to say that line there, I want that to be a 1. As you can see, it changed it. So anything you need to edit that isn't cut correctly, where the 3D is cut and it's not cut correctly, you can Jippo that way. So that done, let's go back to hatching, which is called regions. We go to cut concrete, and we can go for a pen 5 on this. There we go. Select there. 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 Oops. Grab that. Finish. Let's add some DPC. Let's go to detail lines. I'm going to use hidden small. And there we go. Just as a matter of interest, if you've tagged your rooms in plan level, plan view, just grab this one as well. If you go to architecture and tag, you can just drop those notes in here as well, so you don't have to go back and change them or redo them or anything like that. You can just drop them in here. Okay, so that's the crop on the outside. You can just bring that in a bit. Just going to delete that line. Just add a dimension. Add some text. I just want to add a leader. So basically you get the idea. I just want to hide the crop line. Go down to the bottom here. There you can hide the crop line, and I pretty much feel that our 1 in 100 section has got enough detail. Save that and move over to the 1 in 50. And moving on to the 1 in 50 section, let's just go over. First, make sure that this is actually a 1 in 50, and we've just done that. Okay. Once again, that line is too thick, so we're going to go LW for line work. And we're going to turn that into a pen 1 again. Okay. The reason why I want to do a 1 in 50 is I want to introduce you to detail components and repeat details, because they come in really handy. To find them, you go to annotate, components. If you drop down, you get detailed components. Now what those are basically 2D blocks. So you can set up detailed components once, whatever you need them to be, draw them in 2D lines or hatching or whatever you need. You save them as a family, a detailed component family, and you can bring those in all the time. Details are where, for instance, you've got a brick as a detailed component. You can actually make that brick repeat. So let me show you what I mean by that. If you go to repeat detail and you go to 75 plus 10 brick, let's select a point, and now you can actually just draw, and every time you go further than every 75 you add, it adds another brick. So it knows where to start and where to stop. And if you've set up your levels correctly, they should all line up. So here we see, whoop, that's one too many. There we go. From there to wall plate should be exact, which it is not. Let's just make sure, see what's happening here. Grab there. And if we go thin line, that should be 100%. Okay, so we know our brick scale works. Just flip that over. Okay, it doesn't just flip over. Okay, there's the problem. The windows are not at the correct height. Let's just change that. Sorry, let's just change that to 2125. Try 2125. And now if we bring it down, sorry, if we go there, that should be perfect. There we go. Take it through. And we're just going to have to remember to just line up all our lintel heights. For some other reason that was inserted incorrectly. When it comes to roof tiles, we've got a repeat detail for that as well. It's called new tiles. Excuse me. There we go, and it also adds your batten. That's quite nice. So in fact that should be lower. I'm just going to use the align tool. Align that to the top of the truss and do that again, top of the truss. So what you could do at this point is go to the roof, and actually hide that element. There we go. Now you can actually see what your skirting, your fascia really needs to be doing. So we can move that up a bit. Let's call that 25. And yeah, happy with that. We'll just have to make those trusses a little bit shorter, but I'm not going to worry about it now. Let's just move on. Okay, so now the same way as we did our detailing in the 1 in 100 sections with region and lines, we'll do the same in the 1 in 50. For instance, if you want a wall plate over there, I think let's just go like that. That's 38. You will go detail line. Let's say a number 3 pen. You will draw a one and then change to a number 1 pen. And just draw in cross. Okay. So when it comes to 1 in 50 detail, that's how you'd add it. Let's just go there. Let's say, okay, you are not going to have bricks above. You will have a, let's make it a lintel, so that you would want as concrete. Finish. Select it. Now this works just like Coral Draw. You select and say bring to front. So hopefully you get the idea. Let's just add one last thing. Let's say we want to add insulation. We will say that that's 80 wide. We're going to grab it on the one side, put it through. There we go. So you can carry on, add some detail, get it ready, but those are the basic things you use when detailing sections. The last thing I want to show you, drawing wise or 2D detail wise, is how to draw a detail or how to pull out a detail. Let me quickly show you. Let's say we want to do a wall plate detail right there. What you will do is you'll go to Views and Call Out. You'll select the area where you want to do a call out. You can just bring that around, and there you go. If you go there, there's your detail, or there's the area that you need to detail. We're going to do a 1 in 20 detail. Let's make it a 1 in 10. We're going to use the same techniques we used in the section. So you're just going to start drawing. So to add your detail, you're going to go to Annotate. You're going to go to Components. I'm just going to let's just draw some tiles over there. We might want to just extend that a bit. Okay. I'm going to add bricks. So drop that. Bricks. Okay. I'm not going to detail the whole thing. Okay, I'm just going to align this because we know that that lines up with the recourse. Go, comes to a wall plate. Let's go there, region fill. Say we want to use a 6, and we want to use a solid white fill. I'm going to say we want to go 114 and 38. Finish that and add a detail line, thickness 1. At this point, because you've already drawn the walls, you've detailed the walls, you might just want to switch off the modeled walls. And this ceiling is a little bit too thick. I'm just going to change that. I'm just going to do that 15. I'm going to do that 5. Go. We've got a truss going through, detail, and we're going to add some insulation. And you will add text to that as you wish. Let's just delete the roof, or not delete, sorry, let's just hide that. And there's a very quick 1 in 5 detail. Let's just hide the crop line, and there we go. So that's how you draw detail callouts or extractions. Okay, so we are done with our drawing work. The next thing is we need to get all of these. We need to get our views sorted out and then get those onto pages that we can print and give to the builder or council. I've gone back to my site, and these little balls with a little triangle, these are actually our elevations. If you click on one, that line is where it cuts. And then the grip there is how your depth of field. So the part you will see the amount of background in your elevation. So the first thing you want to do is quickly just look through those and see how they set up. This one you can see it's not actually cutting. It's not cutting through the site, so we want to remedy that, and that is too far. We can bring that back. I don't even see the grips on this one. Not too big a problem. Okay, so now we know that our elevations are set up. So while we were working in 3D space, in ground floor plans, sections, modeling, Revit's been generating the elevations for us. So just always remember, Revit will only put in there the things that you have put in. So there we go. That's our east elevation. Now the next thing I want to show you is view templates. I've set up a couple of view templates, and the view template that we are going to use for elevations, I've got 2 set up. One is elevation colored background, or just plain elevation 1. Let's just go with that one for now. That is not right. The next thing you want to be able to see is your crop. So we want to zoom in. Sorry, the crop's at the bottom. You can show it there, and you can switch it on, switch it off. So we want it on, and we just want to crop, have a decent crop on this. And then just move the levels over a little bit. Just move that out the way. Go. Over, something like that. Okay, you want to go ahead and do that with all your elevations. Having set up our elevations and our view templates, we are now ready to put these on pages. Just something I want to show you before we carry on. if you are in a elevation view, you can go down to the bottom and switch shadows on and off. So depending on your needs, you can switch them on, switch them off. You can set your sun settings, but that's something we'll get you in the future. Then also we can tag. We've already set up the tags for the windows. So if we go to annotate, if we go to tags and we hover over the windows, we can tag those as well. So that information is all there. Obviously, if you want to add more detail to the elevation, you would go to same as the sections, go to solid fill, and maybe just draw in a ridge capping. That might be a bit thick, but that gives you the basic idea. So next we're going to move to adding all these views to pages. Down at the bottom, I've created a sheet called plans, but if you want to add more sheets, you just right click, new sheet, you go to A1 metric and you just add another sheet. Back to plans, we go to the ground floor level, we just drag it over, drop it in the space. So it hasn't been cropped, so let's quickly go there and let's just crop this. Let's just crop this in. And let's switch it off, the crop. I just want to hide that plane. Okay, there we've got two section lines. The reason for that is when we copied, made a duplicate with detail, obviously there's now two sections in the same plane. So what I'm going to do is on this side, I'm going to switch off the one head, and this side I'm going to switch off the other head. So we've got something like that. Back to our page. Just want to select that. I don't like that one. I'm going to go with that one there, and there we go. We've got our first view on a drawing. If you remember, we drew up a room schedule. I'm just going to pull that over, drop that in. There's our room schedule. And that's one page set up. There's actually a lot of space here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop the elevations in here as well. So I'm just going to pull them over. That's one. Pull over. Two. Now it's up to you how you want to line them up. So remember that the drawing you plot will look exactly like the drawing. This is paper space in AutoCAD terms, and how you set it up here is how it's going to print. I just quickly want to select those, and I just want to change the title views there. There we go. I've already showed you that doors and windows are already set up. You can finish those off by yourself. And then that new sheet, actually we do have a section sheet. Let's pull the section in there. I'm going to leave the 1 in 100 section for now, and let's also pull the detail in there. Now what I want to show you is, as soon as you drop something onto a page, if you zoom in, you will see that that call out you will find on page 102, drawing number 102. If you zoom out and you go look at the drawing number, you'll see it's 102. And it is numbered number 2, and you'll see there are some numbers 1 and 2. So that is your detail. Now, as architects, we like to personalize or customize the names. We like to call the sections AA. You can do that, and let me quickly show you how to do it, but it's manual. As soon as you do that, you're doing manual work, and if it changes, you'll have to change it manually. This is the way Revit has set it up, and if you make changes, it will update automatically. But most people want to customize, so this is how you'll do it. First, we're going to just change those title blocks. Viewport names, sorry, not title blocks. Okay. If you change that detail number, okay, let's do that again. You select your detail and you call that DET for detail 1. If you change that, that will change to detail 1, page 102, or drawing number 102. So that's how you do that. Same here, if you select that and you call that, instead of 1, sec for section AA. If you now go to plans and you zoom in, that should say section AA, drawing number 102. So that's how you customize your section and call out names. The very last thing I want to show you, and I'm just going to do it in this video, is you've now done your drawings, you're happy with them, you've printed them and given them off to the builder, but you now would like to do some changes to this in AutoCAD, or maybe send these drawings to the engineer, and the engineer is only using AutoCAD. So what you will do is, in sheet view, or if this was AutoCAD, we'll call this paper space, you go to export, come on, there we go, export, CAD formats, DWG, next, you just choose the file type, remember to switch that off, and you go export. That will then give you a AutoCAD drawing of the Revit drawing that you've just done. So that's basically the end of this demo tutorial. It would be best for you to work through this tutorial a couple of times, work through the videos a couple of times, and make sure you understand these concepts. If you're happy with these and you're comfortable with this, then you can call me up and I will add your template, and I will make another video or come to your office and update what you have, and then we can take it to the next level. I think this gives you enough to be able to do a set of drawings from beginning to end, but wherever you get stuck, you can bring AutoCAD information